let's move on over to our Railjack Revised exclusive interview.
Exclusive. Make it sound like we're like high quality gamers. We are high quality though, I promise.
So,
Hey, how you doing?
Howdy.
hello.
I'm doing alright.
Okay, guys, we have a nice special guest for you. You want to introduce yourself?
Shoot. I don't know, I just played Test Cluster. You want to know anything more?
Yeah, like, what's your name? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
How long you've been playing Warframe?
Just a little frame summary, maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm Kliuqard, and I've been playing Warframe for like 5 years, and I guess it's worth noting I am a subreddit moderator on the Warframe subreddit.
Yeah, so behave, everyone.
Boy, oh boy.
And just for giggles, what's your favorite Warframe?
Harrow.
Really?
Valid.
Okay, so this one's kind of a dumb question, but Becky asked it us during the week, and we actually answered. Do you have a favorite Ayatan?
Yeah.
The Orda.
Why does everyone like the Orda?
Okay.
Because
That's what I'm saying.
it's
Orda has
the
some good vibes to it.
it's the easiest to farm and it gives the most endo.
Actually, the easiest to farm is doing the sortie every day to get the
Yeah, to
pineapple.
get your NASA every
The
time.
My
pineapple.
NASA every day.
I don't like that sculpture. Get rid of the pineapple.
Why
It
is
looks
it-
like if you flip it upside down, it looks like a jellyfish, and that's why I like it.
Yeah, it does look
Yeah,
pretty
it
cool
does.
animated.
It's my favorite jellyfish. I have one in my orbiter, just fully socketed, sitting there because it's not like I won't get another one.
Yeah, I'm at 15 fully socketed and 5 unsocketed.
Oh god.
I have 0 right now.
Do the sortie, you'll probably get it.
Yeah, I
Soon.
got a lovely resource drop chance booster. I love getting those. So good, man. So good.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about the quality of Ayatan sculptures.
No, I think we are.
Are we? Is that the stream?
It's just become
Railjack
Ayatan.
Revisited out the window. Ayatan time. Let's go.
Okay,
That's
so
what we should do. The one chat after dark Ayatan review.
Kliuqard, why don't you give us your initial, just your your thoughts on how the test cluster played, and then we'll go through and ask you some questions that we have written up for you.
So, briefly summarized, I'd say like Warframe Railjack on the current build's like a 3 out of 10. I'd say Warframe Revised is like an 8 out of 10 on Test Cluster. So
Really?
it's a pretty significant improvement. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it is definitely an improvement, and it's worth looking toward because it really touched on a lot of the basics of Railjack that ties into basically everything. Of all.
Okay, that's good. That's really
It's
good
a
to hear.
stellar review.
Yeah, I'm glad it's positive vibes.
Like my favorite out of it is let's say the Railjack speed change. It makes it so boost isn't so you aren't so reliant on boosting in order to get anywhere.
Okay.
And it also ties in very well with combat. It makes combat very smooth to deal with as a pilot.
That's good.
Awesome.
Alright. So it's question time.
All right, you guys wanna? Who wants to read them?
Want to go? Should one of us ask, or do you want to go alphabetical order?
Let's Becky, why don't you ask the questions?
Why do I have to ask the questions? Okay. I'm bad at talking. You already answered, like, our first question was how noticeable is the change of the speed in the Railjack and its boost, and from what you just said, seems to be very noticeable and a lot smoother. Which is good. How noticeable is the difference in, like, enemy difficulties? So like the number of enemies spawning, the health of ships, enemies inside objectives and crew ships, and all that kind of stuff.
So for fighters in space, they've turned from bullet sponges to actual enemies that you've interacted in basically ground missions all around. And on-foot units have been tuned to be slightly above average for your normal enemy on ground, but they're not as beefy as they were before. It's very easy to chew through them, and it's not like an enemy times 10.
Yeah, because that's what I found was like, I forget what it's called, but the bay or whatever, and then like there's 10 enemies there, and like even though they're level like what 70, they can still like they do crazy
Yeah,
damage.
the
Yeah.
damage they did and the tankiness they were for the level it was reading was way off.
Yeah, cruise ships were the same. It's like if you don't just go in and out and blow up that reactor, it's like there's like 50 guys in there that are your ass.
Yeah,
So you can
like
still-
I always thought the enemies that like got on your ship, like the boarders, were just
Yeah.
for some reason stupidly difficult. Like I can kill things at level 70 with my Brahma in like one shot, easy enough, fine. But when it came to that, I felt like I was not doing anything to them.
You were
At all.
basically fighting 10 enemies at once.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awful. Like I couldn't play any other Warframe other than like, because I did Railjack a lot earlier on, like before I got okay at Warframe, and so like I had to play Trinity or like Rhino or something, or else I would die to them. And it's like, cool, that feels fair and balanced.
Yeah, even me, when back before the toxin or back before the status changes, I would always just go Avara. I'd sleep them as soon as they entered, and then I'd just yeet my pox at them until it stripped their armor, and I could actually do damage to them without having to exert so much energy. So it's
Yeah.
good to hear that the everything's changing.
Yeah. On the topic of fighters and like cruise ships, do those spawns feel better balanced with numbered numbers, or does it just feel more tedious with how many spawn or how few spawn?
It's basically like exterminate missions are right now. It's basically how it is. It gives like plus or minus 10, so it doesn't change too much. You still get around like 60 to 80,
Mhm.
Okay.
which is pretty much expected for a normal exterminate mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just the fighter spawns that vary, or is it the cruise ship spawns too?
Cruise ship spawns I don't think have changed.
So it's
think
just like
they're
the what is it, like
the
5 or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the fighter counts have been randomized slightly.
Okay.
Everything they're trying to do is trying to mimic current on-foot exterminates.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll definitely get a similar feel from there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I mean, I wouldn't want to like have to take down like 130 fighters or something like that.
The GM point got really repetitive when it was just, kill, what was it, 80 fighters, 5 cruise ships.
Yeah, oh my god, I'll say like
Yeah,
Every
I
time.
hated running those with you.
if
Honestly,
you could
I
only
hated
run
running
Earth
them.
missions. It's like running Earth missions. They were like all exactly the same. 40
Yeah.
fighters and 2 cruise ships, and that was
Yeah,
every
it was
mission aside from like 2 different ones.
So
But
tedious.
speaking of tedium and mission speed, in general, do missions feel faster or slower than before? Like, are you feeling like you can get through them faster?
They feel like twice as fast.
Oh, that's good. Less time in
It's because of-
Railjack.
Because of how less bullet spongy the fighters are, the time to complete the whole objective is much faster.
That
And
sounds good.
so you can pretty much knock out the fighters within the first half of the mission and then just move on to the objective and cruise ships on the second half and then be done with that.
Mhm.
Ooh,
I'd say they range about 10 to 15 minutes, or on Earth,
oh,
maybe
okay.
even less than that on Earth.
That definitely is a lot slower. well, it's not slower, a lot faster than it was before.
I believe beforehand it was like, I don't know, 20 to 25 minutes?
Yeah, like something.
I've definitely waited on people who, yeah.
Just a side question on that too. In the notes, it says they're making it so fighters don't 5 kilometers away from you, or 500 kilometers away from you. What
Yeah,
was
you can
whatever?
sometimes see them. You can sometimes see them spawn in front of you.
Because I feel like that had like a
Because of
big,
that.
Yeah.
big effect on the time too. Just like you have to like fly to the other side of the map just to find the
Yeah,
enemies.
if they spawn like super far away.
Yeah, I hated, like, you were already, like, towards the end of the map, and then you turn around and there's, like, the last of what you need, and it's all the way back at spawn, and I'm like, oh, what a pain.
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, at least the Railjack moves faster now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All things, isn't it?
Let's see. What are your thoughts on like the valence, transfer aspect with the avionics things?
So the system is basically identical to equivalent weapon valence
Okay.
transfer. It's basically like that, except I think it has different values for the tier that you're infusing into each other. But
Yeah.
overall, the biggest problem I'd say is that you have to build the part that you're trying to fuse.
Yeah, I was not vibing with that when I saw that. It's like, oh yeah, any built part you have. I don't want to spend another 14,000 titanium to make another Vidar 3 reactor.
I feel like there's just a bit too much for what you need.
Are the caps? Go ahead.
Because of the range of them, I think it's like very small. So like you only need like 2 or 3 valence transfers. But the biggest issue is just getting the resources to build all of them. They can use some kind of reduction, I'm thinking like 25 to 30%, to make it more balanced. Because they did compensate for the titanium, because they tripled the titanium values.
Oh yeah, that's big too. They like upgraded all the loot pickups, right? As well as the
yeah.
vacuum.
Yep. Titanium can be farmed pretty passively now on the test cluster.
What's the other thing? What are asterite? Is that still a pain to get?
I don't think there was many issues beforehand, but it's welcome. I haven't had to use much asterite though.
It was trying to build some of the weapons, and the actual like railjack pieces needed asterite, and it was just kind of annoying to fly around at the end of the mission every time and just break every single container you saw. But hopefully, if it's tripling the drops, that sounds a lot nicer.
Yeah, but like you don't have the container farm anymore. You can do it. You can accumulate it pretty passively, but you can like triple or quadruple your totals if you just go container hunting.
Sweet.
So it does make it really quick.
Okay. That a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead, Becky.
Alright. Do you like the new system for avionics? Like only having one type, or do you prefer the original system?
I feel conflicted about them.
Oh.
Because they kind of merged them into like the best, but also having the highest capacity requirement. And currently, reactors don't support like a full setup for that. I had to sacrifice tactical avionics in order to fit a lot of my integrated avionics.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did they increase with the addition of the valence transfer? Did they increase the cap of avionics, or is it still just a flat 100?
No, it was just added valence transfer. The caps were not modified.
What do you think? You think there's gonna be some kind of forma that you can put out that'll reduce the capacity, or that'll like have like the cost for the avionics?
I don't know. The feedback regarding it was kind of varied, so who knows what they'll do.
I hope, because I don't know. I feel like there's some avionics that I feel they're like kind of necessary, especially in the Veil. Like you want the health and armor ones, but there's some quality of life ones that you want too. Like personally, I don't like boarding ships, so I take forward artillery, so I just blow up the cruise ships.
So, like, the essential mods, like, what is it? Health, turret damage, and armor
Mm-hmm.
already take up a significant amount of space on your reactor capacity. So, yeah, they don't really compensate too much with the reactor capacity.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know. I guess I could see why they won't change if they don't change it, but I do hope that they do. At least give us an option to either increase our capacity or lower the costs.
They increase the base capacity because when I was on there, I was only able to fit 5 out of 9 integrated avionics, and like 2 battle avionics that are like half level.
Yeah.
There's definitely not enough to fit everything in, and I was using a Mark III reactor.
It's definitely
Okay.
got some to it.
Go ahead, Becky.
Alright, what's your personal favorite battle avionic, and does it feel too OP? Like now with the changes.
It's still Void Hull. Void Hull's still
They-
go to.
They have the duration, right?
Yeah, it's kind of rough, but it's still like the best out of all the other ones. Seeking Volley just doesn't have enough to it.
Still, even with the reduced armor and health.
Nope, it still like does, I don't know, maybe half health.
Man, that
onto a
one's
couple
so
enemies.
that's so pretty to look at though.
Yeah,
I really liked Seeking Volley.
the sound it makes too.
Yeah.
Void Hull just offers too much.
Yeah.
It's like-
CC damage,
gosh.
it just lines things up for you. It was not 100 munitions, was munitions vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it bugged the entire time?
Yeah, it kind of made you invincible.
It made you invincible?
Yeah.
Did it never detonate, so it just absorbed things in front of it?
No, you kind of just detonated it and it made you invincible. That's kind of what happened.
Oh,
But they kind of changed it so you can't charge it up with your own Railjack guns.
oh, that
So it
kind of
kinda-
sucks.
it
But
kinda
I
hurts its
guess I can
effectiveness.
understand.
Yeah, you kind of just tickle them at that point. I feel like they nerfed a lot of battle avionics, but I haven't touched on a lot of them on live,
Yeah.
so I can't give the best analysis on it.
I heard from the videos that I watched that the munitions vortex and void hole combination, aka the big suck, was like the best Veil meta for clearing ships fast.
And it probably still will be like that. And unless they don't they change it, which they probably will, since there's a lot of feedback on that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So the final question that we have like lined up is your thoughts on DE finally doing test servers and how they can be improved, like based on how players are selected or what all they put into the test servers, or if they use the test servers for every big thing they plan on releasing now, or if it's just for changes like this. So I guess just your overall thoughts on it and any way it can be improved.
So the community has kind of just been pushing for it for like, I don't know, ever since Railjack?
Mm-hmm.
Hell, and especially Scarlet Spear. So it's definitely welcome, and since they already had it, the structure was kind of there.
And it was only over the weekend, right? Was it a 2-day or 3-day?
Give it a sec. He's lagging out. It looks like.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was me or him.
No, it was him.
Not blocking.
You're just lagging just a little bit.
Give me.
Yeah. Alright. How are you guys in chat? You guys have any questions for Kliuqard?
Oh, you're trying. Hopefully, it adjusts soon.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised my Wi-Fi hasn't given up on me yet. Tends to do that every
Yeah,
waking moment.
Logan was the one having issues this time.
Gave me the Wi-Fi problems, and I'm unwired.
Haha, Ethernet's trash.
Ethernet go.
Oh
Yeah,
my
honestly, I need that fiber optic upgrade. It could be good.
Fiber optics. That's what I have. I have FiOS. Verizon FiOS. Doesn't mean it's not interesting what he's got to say. Yeah, I know what you mean, Roland. Just giving you guys an opportunity to speak and see if you guys had any questions that you wanted answered, any comments
Well,
you wanted to make.
Hopefully Wi-Fi gets fixated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
Did we lose
well,
him?
we didn't lose him.
yeah,
We
he's in
just
the other chat, but-
had a chat from Murphs.
Yeah. We can move on for now, and then we can bring him back.
Unless he's getting adjusted. Just,
Mhm.
you should hit him up with a DM.
Yeah, he sent me a message.
Alright.
Alright, he said pull me back in, so.
Yeah, sweet.
I went to drag you back, but Jason
yourself.
worked too fast, so I ended up just clicking the chat.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh,
No big deal.
But getting back to Rose, the community has kind of pushed for the past few months, and so far on a small scale, it's definitely paid off because it does focus on specifically what is needed, which is real appreciated.
Do you think DE is gonna listen to their partners and the feedback of everyone?
Most likely, because I think there was only like 60 to 70 people who posted feedback so far, and every
Like
partner
the
that's been
500
active.
that got picked.
I think there was like 300 that got picked from the lottery, and then
Aw.
basically every single partner
Yeah.
got
That's
pulled
fair.
back. But I heard a majority didn't even realize that they got their code,
Oh.
so that was
You
kind of
get
an
them. You got them from in-game mail, right?
issue. Yeah, and they didn't because it was changed last minute because
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a 4 p.m.
Yeah, I
don't
read
think a lot
that
of
and then
people
I
got the
looked.
memo.
I looked again and I was like, oh, I guess they changed it to an in-game DM. But yeah, unfortunately, none of us were lucky enough to have the opportunity to play on the test cluster.
But they have a very achievable amount of feedback they can read,
Mm-hmm.
and that's enough to pull out. Upscaling is a little difficult because they do have to read that feedback, but they do plan to upscale it.
Do you think they should do something like this for every update they do from now on?
They probably will. I got teased that they're probably going to do with Deadlock Protocol.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Some
you think
insider
they'll go-
information there.
Do you think they'll go about the same way, choosing people like a random lottery, or will they give it to the same people they've already given it to, or
Yeah, because I know.
will they have a more selective process?
Mm-hmm.
So the people who have already been selected will stay in there. That's kind of been set in stone. But they'll probably do more lotteries. Because so far, I think it's been working. The demographic of the test cluster has been mostly mastering 20 or plus, which is pretty much what they need at the moment. Because
Yeah.
I think the lowest
poor MR14.
that the lowest one I've seen was like a mastering 10.
Oh, all right. See, Becky, you got a chance.
A chance.
Yeah, just don't get banned.
But they'll probably publicize it more, maybe in-game, to do it, and maybe just pick more people out of that, and actually like, notify them that they actually got their code or something.
Do you think this is a step in the right direction for DE after all their controversial choices and recent updates that they made according to the community?
Very much yes. Like, I played on console for a while and it was pretty stable, so I'd like to just see that, you know, they pushed a little back so PC can have the stability as well, instead of just consoles.
You think cross save will ever be a thing?
Yeah.
Really?
They've already stated that they're in the works to try and put it in.
Okay, what about cross play instead of cross save?
No.
No.
I don't think
What
so
is this,
either.
Fortnite?
Wasn't it?
They beat around the bush and not talk about anything about that.
Microsoft, isn't it like issues with Microsoft and Sony and how they don't want to allow crossplay?
That's basically all speculation.
Yeah.
At this point.
I think people usually just blame Sony for the crossplay.
They've been avoiding talking about crossplay because it's highly unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if I ever had crossplay, I could play with my friends who all play on console.
Or,
Which would be cool.
yeah.
But also, don't know how it would go out.
I mean, hey, Becky, when you get your Switch, you can play with our Switch. You can play with our Switch viewers.
Warframe on the Switch Lite.
Start from scratch.
You understand that I'm not getting a Switch for a TV and that I'd be playing it on, like, the console screen.
You might have to, you're probably gonna have to get Nintendo Direct, too. That's alright, Nintendo Online.
Something like that. I don't know what it's called because I play on PC and not a Switch. I'm getting a Switch for Animal Crossing and that's about it.
So, as a veteran, what do you think of the state of the game?
Like,
Because we were
talking about broad, like, context here.
Just in general, you know, it's like a question that we get asked, so we figured why not ask our guests.
Or I guess another variation on that question is a lot of the times I think of if you like a game enough, you'd recommend it to another person to play. Like in its current state, where it is right now, you would recommend somebody to go pick it up and start playing it.
Yeah, I think that's probably a better question than the state of the game.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
That works with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, there.
So, like, I feel like the pace of the game is too slow for veterans, but just right for new players, which is a weird dilemma that they have to solve.
Yeah, I agree because you know, as a Reddit moderator, you must see all the, "Gah, I hate this. I'm leaving Warframe," and then, you know, literally 5 minutes later, a post that says, "Wow, can't believe I just found this game. It's amazing."
But, like, the game as a whole, it's kind of like rotting in some places while they're trying to make new stuff, which is big.
Conclave.
Like revisiting should be taken. Well, it should be
fixing the
valued
old
more.
content should be prioritized before starting new shiny things.
Yeah, the new shiny is kind of wearing old because you got so much that you've been there. They don't have much reason to go back. So revisits should be much more often than they should be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the moment, they should definitely be here more often because I'd like to be revisiting Fortuna or Velis or Railjack in a couple of years. You know, instead of just playing it for, like, I don't know, 2 months.
Nightwave.
Yeah. And Nightwave.
I think that was an attempt to try to make players revisit old concepts.
Nightwave is a good bridge. It's just that it needs to be consistent.
Mm-hmm. You can't have
because having a 6-month-long intermission is not the greatest solution to that.
Because what's the last? God.
It should be regular on, like, a 3-month basis, even. I don't know, 2 or 4 months, either way. It just needs to be regular. Keep it fresh.
If you could add a change to the game or update the game in any way, what would you do?
Why did you ask me such a hard question?
Come on, those are the thought-provoking ones. You can give a couple.
Shoot. Man, I don't know.
Even if it's just something small, or even if you think it just wouldn't be that big in the long run, just something that you think would just, at least slightly improve the game. Like, I think grinding for certain things is dumb and literally just way more extra than it should be, especially for people just, starting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the newer player experience just needs more guidance in general.
Yeah, a lot of my friends, they like jump into the game and they're like, okay, so what do I do?
Like,
Yeah.
I say finish Vor's Prize and then just work your way through the planets, and you should start to piece together like some kind of progression. Do quests as they pop up.
so you basically, like, the new player experience is that you have like guide rails for like 2 minutes, and then suddenly you're just thrown out into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like, soon you'll have guide rails near the end of it, but like, you're kind of just in an open plane.
Yeah, I noticed once you hit Uranus, you're pretty much on some pretty solid, like just a solid pathway to continue.
Yeah, but
with new content or like with the story and whatnot. But yeah, up until then, I see a lot of issues with getting people to that point.
Yeah, I guess I could say I was lucky because I had Jason and I had Logan to help me find like a guide when I didn't know where to go next.
Mm-hmm. I think the game shouldn't need to be played with the wiki open. Personally.
Yeah, which is very fair too.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say, I think I was saying to Becky a while ago, or I was saying to you too, but I want to say it took about 50 hours for me to get the hang, where I felt comfortable with the gameplay. And I want to say it took 75 hours before I say I got the hang of it.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, I got like bullet jumping, wall latching, you start to figure out how the weapons kind of flow rather than, I don't know, I feel like if you think of it like more or less like a shooter, you're gonna have less of a good time because it is so much more of an open game.
Yeah.
I've been having so much trouble trying to categorize it because I can't call it an MMORPG.
I would call it like an
is.
online looter shooter.
Yeah, because it is half and half. Like, it's not like, I can't compare it to Borderlands where it's like you kill enemies and they drop loot. It's more or less like,
You kill enemies, they drop the parts to make the loot.
yeah, and I only played Destiny 1, so I can't that.
Destiny's kind of
That's the closest thing I can see where it's
Yeah.
more or less go into missions that are essentially similar, repeatable missions. You farm enemies, which drop loot, build your guns, level up, which I feel like that, like, the gameplay is definitely pretty solid. Just starting off, I didn't like how the mastery system worked. But now I realize it's not as important as you think starting off.
yeah.
That like threw me off. That it was like, I figured you just play the levels or you level up like a usual game, not based off of like, what is it? Based off of mastering every weapon in Warframe levels you up. I don't know. I don't like tutorials because like I feel like 90% of people just skip them anyways. But I feel like they should be some way to introduce more of the game without holding your hand. But I can't think of a way that they can do that. So there's my take.
Tutorials would be a bit excessive in this game. There's too many mechanics, too many details. I don't know. I
Not
think
enough
there just has
conflict
to be-
layers.
There's just bound to be experimentations that is to be had when you're playing any piece of content in the game. I just need like some kind of better progression.
The best
which
part
might be worth mentioning is Master Rank. The Master Rank progression is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, just especially that it only gives you odd upgrade slot, trading capacity, and your reputation.
Oh, can't forget the void.
That's true.
The
Plus
void
100
traces.
void traces. Yeah, so
No,
it's
but
not like...
I was gonna say that the best part is that there are tutorials in the game. They're just like hidden away.
Yeah, which that's a true point too, because I don't even look at those. I didn't even know you could test out the MR tests beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
That was like close to 2,000 hours in. I didn't even know.
Okay, I did not know a bullet jump existed until I reached Ares, which was the
Really?
endgame planet.
Yeah.
You gotta go fast.
And apparently, I learned, like, when I was mastering 22 or something like that there's actually a parkour tutorial in the codex that's hidden behind, like, 3 menus.
Yeah. I didn't really start bullet jumping until Jason kept reminding me that I should be
Yeah, I
bullet
was
jumping.
like, Becky, bullet jump.
It's almost like it doesn't...
Because like she'd try to sprint or walk through all the missions, and
Yeah,
I was like, oh my, I'm already at extraction, and she's all the way at the capture target. And I'm like, oh. But she got the hang of it.
Okay, just
Yeah.
from a chat read. Almiel says, I remember the excitement of all my friends who I helped through the game once they got to that quest.
Yeah,
They just couldn't drop it.
I think that's a big thing.
would've-
Once you hit that point, a lot of players stick around because they don't want to drop it after, and because they don't want to drop it. And up until that point, I don't know, people could see it as kind of grindy and slow, or kind of wading through the mass of content.
I mean, you kind of playing the game for the grind. That's most of the game. Which, it's not inherently a bad thing, it just needs to be... The grind needs to be more of an illusion, if anything, than the actual, like, gameplay of it.
Yeah, it's not like I'm particularly fond of real grind hours. But it's part of the game, and I get past the grind and eventually do the things that are like more fun about the game.
Mm-hmm. Have you thought of an answer to my "what would you change" question?
No.
I mean, it's a hard question. I don't blame you.
Okay, Logan, what would you change?
Okay, so in general about whole game or just one aspect?
Whole game. What would you change about the whole game?
Be gentle on the game. What? The whole game.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna judge it too harshly, but I want to say... What can I even say? I don't... My least favorite aspect of the game is Arcwing, but I don't want to make that comment right now.
I don't know. I think Arcwing isn't as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, I just feel like it's like when it comes up in mission, I feel annoyed, but if I could change anything, honestly, I feel like... Fuck, I don't know. The only thing I can really say is how the missions are, like, just missions or star charts laid out. I do like how it's open, like, I like how you can pick where you want to go and go from there, but the fact that it's like, when I first started playing, how Plains of Eidolon and Cetus are on Earth, and I thought that you had to do that, or the fact that it's like, when they start giving you 2 junctions, and then it's like, you kind of stuck. And it's like, you can't do things, or you, like, I think I went, like, tried to go void the wrong way, or it's like, you go, I don't even know. I just found, like, that if it was more or less, not, like, just because right now it looks almost like a spider web of intertwining missions across the map, I feel like it should be more or less just like a circle with connected paths where you start at this mission. I know that's almost more like, I like how this, you can pick and choose your missions, but
You feel like
feel
it
like
should
you
be a
should.
little more linear.
yeah, like say I just pulled up from Pluto to Eris, so from the Pluto junction you go to Eris, and then say it's just like a loop around. You go through a defense, like one of each mission type, and then after the very last mission is your next path offwards. I gotta find one that double paths off. to actually be sure, but yeah, like even say Jupiter, like there's the Europa junction or the Saturn junction, and then it just leads to the void, and then it's like if you're playing early and you hit the hard level of void, you're just like, is this all that you do? Or if you go the other way, then it's like, or sorry, yeah, because one way it's like they're level, you go the easy route, all the missions are like level 15, but if you go the hard route, the missions are like level 45. Yeah, 45.
Yeah.
Just say make like navigation easier, but I can't even say easier, just I don't even know. I like this game too much, and I just you put me it's too on the spot. I relate.
Okay, Becky, you're a relatively new player. You probably don't have as much experience, so it might be easier for you. What kind of change would you make to the game?
See, I think that's where your logic fails. I'm not at the point where a lot of players have become disillusioned with it because of, you know, bugs or enemies not being hard anymore, or things that were like promised at like TennoCon not being quite what people promised. I don't have much wrong with the game. When they're fixing it with the
Sorry, if I can interject to change the question. What's something to say that you liked playing? Like, what irked you the most as when you freshly started playing?
Yeah,
For Jason, it was
what
like
did
8 years ago? Me, it was 2 years ago. Kliuqard
I
is
felt
5
like
years. So
I felt like I needed my handheld in order to like progress. Maybe that's just because I'm bad at video games.
No,
I'm gonna be honest. But I feel like if I didn't have friends that played it, like the lore kept me in it. But like I feel like if I didn't have friends that helped me get through the beginning and figure out where I need to go, like, and you know, get through all that, then I probably wouldn't have stuck around as much or liked it as much or, you know, dedicated time to be doing a Warframe podcast.
So I'm kind of surprised lore kept you in, because for me, I didn't feel like there was any substance until second dream.
Yeah, no, that's why. That's what I'm talking. He did talk me up a lot, and that's the point. I'm talking about until like second dream, like from what I had to like Nata-ish, like that whole start of like, oh, everything's not what you think it is kind of thing. That's what kept me in. But if I didn't have somebody helping me through like relays and all that kind of stuff, I probably wouldn't have stuck around and got to the point where I'm actually like interested. Because don't get me wrong, if grinding is your kind of thing, go for it. But I would rather not solo grind.
For me,
and
go ahead, Becky, finish.
Yeah, I would just rather not solo grind, and especially when back to like tutorials and not knowing about like bullet jumping and stuff. It would be nice if like after you complete that first quest, you
even during the first quest, I think there should be somewhere that you can't reach with a double jump. So like, it tells you crouch and jump to do a bullet jump to get around.
Like, as soon as you get done with the tutorial, or as soon as you get your orbiter, you're directed to the codex, and the first thing should be tutorials, and you can play through them.
Or skip them. If you just have somebody who's telling you how to play. Like, I got one of my friends to start playing Warframe, because, you know, quarantine's happening, need new games to play. And, I'm worried that, unless I, like, play with her, that, she won't stick around. And it's because of just the way the new player experience is. And I'm not saying that they should tailor to only drawing new players in and not really worrying about keeping old players with, like, the fixes that they desire. But, I'm just saying that I still like playing it. I haven't gotten to the point where I, like, find all the things wrong with it, but I guess this test server is a good way to start hearing out people.
and what they have to say about events and builds before they release, so we don't have like 7 hot fixes over the span of like the month or 2.
All right, Kliuqard, have you thought of something?
You're just
or do you want me to go, because I have a couple that I can list off.
I feel like Rivens could use a reimagining. I feel like that's the one thing I'd.
All right.
Because
I can't even use any of. I can like barely
I'm
use any of the
all right. I'm
ribbons I
already a
have.
big fan, so please continue.
So, I feel like Rivens could use a revisit to their original intended purpose, which was basically to make Rivens revive the weapons you've used in the past.
Can they?
Yeah, during progression.
I think.
I love Glitron, but it isn't relevant.
Yeah.
So I'd really love Rivens to make it truly competitive with other weapons, like, I don't know, the Ignis. I don't think anything's gonna surpass the Brahma, but who knows? Maybe it could be. I want weapons to be, in my own progression, be revived.
Yeah, like the Brahma replaced the Exceltra as soon as it was given to us. For the most part.
Because Warframe is special in that each weapon isn't really a copy paste. It's like individually crafted. So it's kind of a pain to see weapons go into shadows as soon as you get past their intended progression purpose in the progression system. So yeah, I'd love to see Rivens just be made into something that can revive that Latron I loved.
I also, I'm not a fan of the fact that I could possibly pay 2,000 USD for a Rubico ribbon.
Hey, yeah, I'm not a fan of.
I'm not happy with that. I think that people would hate it, but
they're healthy in the in-game market.
People would hate it, but if anything, they should make ribbons not be tradable with plat. I think
if I rework them, they definitely wouldn't.
Yeah, it's like
they're just not healthy.
They're
not healthy for the
so
trading community, to be
wrong,
honest.
man. Like, yeah, I'm working my butt off. I'm trading some prime parts. You know, I'm getting some, like, you know, a couple hundred plat sets. You know, like maybe I make like, I don't know, 100, 150, 200 plat in a day of trading. And then I get on and like I see, you know, my Riven trading friend. He's like, yeah, I just made like 2.2k flipping a Brahma Riven. And I'm like, God, just come on, man. It just feels wrong to me to sell a Riven for, you know, $200 US.
Yeah, it's like it seems way too much, and I hate people that put like when they get a good Riven, the market at like 9,999 for their price. And, like they put like we've seen them for like 50k plat. And it's like who the hell is buying that?
I don't mind buying a Riven for like 50 plat or something, or like bidding for one up to like 100 plat. Like 100 plat is like the most I'd actually pay for a Riven, and that's probably it for me.
It's a bit of a wonder though. The market's kind of weird because Rivens are at that absurd price because people are willing to pay for that.
I don't get
surprisingly
why.
enough.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
get
'cause
why.
it's like,
Who has the disposable income of platinum to just?
There are people that are just farmers, and I've seen them in every.
That's crazy.
I've definitely had friends who've had 6 digits of platinum just lying around.
Yeah, so. I see some small streamer and he's got like 300,000 platinum, and I'm like, it's like, what do you just buy it dirty? Like, come on, man. How do you get that much?
When the market's gotten to the point where it's not too uncommon to see people with, I don't know, 4 or 5 digits platinum.
I have
that's
3
kind of what
digits.
birthed the Riven market.
Yeah,
I have 190 plat because I just spent 75 getting Jason a color palette.
I've got I've got 710 right now, and I think that's pretty good. I've made that over the course of my pretty much my Warframe trading career, which only started around last year, I guess. I wasn't big into market trading because I was like, oh, it's so intimidating. I'm not gonna make plat. No one's gonna buy. then Logan comes on, he's like, yeah, I just made 300 plat with my prime sets, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
missing out.
shoot, I can make like no platinum on certain days, and then suddenly make 900 platinum the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Especially when Prime Chamber came out. That's where about 500 of that 700 came from.
I bought 2 of those and sold them.
It's such a good flip,
like,
man.
immediately.
For such a bad mod, just, oh man, it was awesome.
I got like 800 platinum out of it.
Alright, for me, I think there's a couple I do. I would, like, these are just simple changes. I'd make it so Eidolons, you got Eidolon, like, credits kind of thing, and you could buy your arcanes from, like, Anko kind of thing. I would like that, like a store instead of a random drop. Just because they already did that with Scarlet Spear. So the system's in place. It would be nice to see it come back for just like a quality of life kind of thing. And I guess something else, I'd love to see the level slider come in. The difficulty slider, where you can choose what level you want to start the mission at. As opposed to just relying on, like level 40 to scale up to level 200.
Yeah, because that's a big point you said. It's like, if you want it hard, even like arbitration, you gotta sit for an hour in survival. Start.
I'd like to be able to join missions past wave 5. For people, so like during the join leave portion of like say we're at wave 20 on Mott kind of thing, or 20 minutes on Mott, someone could join from that point within the first minute, and they could join and be at that difficulty. They wouldn't get the rewards, but they'd start picking up the rewards kind of thing.
I mean, it'd be nice for people like me who have I don't have the greatest Wi-Fi. It's functioning right now because I'm not really active on Warframe, but as of late it's been cutting out a lot. And I'd be in the middle of like a void fissure or an arbitration or something like that, and I would get host migration because I disconnect, and then I can't join back because the objective's already been completed. Even though I've been in that mission for like 40 minutes.
I think
what happened last night.
A system that would let you rejoin at a later time. So just in case you got disconnected from your friends, maybe it's set to like a friends only kind of thing, where you can join at any time, or within a certain time period after X amount. I think that'd be nice. Just so like you're farming relics, right? And it's getting a little tricky, and some guy decides to leave, and you were doing okay with 4, but now you're starting to slip with 3. And you really and you want to stay, but you just don't really have the option to, because like it was a survival and it was your only Necros, and the enemies are taking a little bit longer to kill, so you can't get as many life support canisters to drop.
Or even like the what are they called? Interceptions, where it's like there's legit points.
Yeah.
If you lose one person, then third.
If anything, just lose a point. If someone leaves, just remove a point. Like it starts with all 4, and if it passes a certain time, I guess that might make it a little too easy, but I don't know. I think it'd be a good way to compensate for losing someone on a hard mission like that. And then lastly, I would like to see rewards changed as you progress higher and higher. Like ARBs are fun. I like them, and their rewards are pretty cool. But I think like just general around the Star Chart missions, like people do Mott, people do Hydron. I'd just still like to see some rewards tweaked. Give players incentive to stay longer. That's a wrap for my ideas.
Like scaling, well, yeah, it's hard with relics, but yeah, like definitely like scaling, nice too. So that's like if you stay it's like you stayed in a survival for, you get 2 bonuses, or like same how like they have like you get like a relic at the end, or it's like every round you get a relic for staying longer. They should do like little more to that, like when you hit like your milestones. If you hit like 20, if you hit 50 rounds or 50 waves, an hour, say, if it's survival or 20 minutes. Hey, Cappy, goodbye. Sorry, my lich just spawned. But yeah, I feel like that could be my little take until I got distracted.
Yeah. Alright, anyone else got anything?
I do not currently.
Any of our chatters have anything they want to add?
Very clever.
Any questions for Kliuqard?
The alt tab so I can actually watch the chat.
Yeah, I'm watching it on my side. I just know there's a stream delay, so it takes them a second to hear us.
Let's see, reading back the chat. Call me L. Anasas are. If you're selling Anasas for 20 plat, you are. What do you mean? I sold my Anasas for 9 plat each on PC. What?
Was he buying one for 30 or was he buying a set for 30? And what aren't you on? You're on Switch too, right? The Switch, all the console markets are really different.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy right now selling 10 Iotans for 2 plat on Warframe.market.
Yeah, no. What is?
If anyone's looking to make a fat deal.
People on Warframe market in the buying seconds are all choosing beggars.
Yeah, it's different for regions. It's different for system you're playing on. Like apparently the Switch market needs to relax.
Yeah, because if you can sell drift mods for 30 plat, you know, I want to be in that market.
Yeah, but any questions you guys have for a guest or?
Hey, finally, our best friend, Zuku.
Zuku Midoriya.
Have you? I don't know how long you've been here, but yo. For 30 plat on Xbox. Okay, let me get a quick Xbox.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy Xbox now.
I think that's gonna be it.
Yeah, thanks. We got for now.
So, thank you so much for coming on our show, Kliuqard.
Yeah.
It was really nice of you to join us.
A vet and a pro in the Reddit mod.
And a Reddit mod.
3 in 1.
Massive legend here.
Yeah, I got food waiting for me, so I'd love to head off if no one's.
Yeah, I don't know. You're good to go. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being nice about it.
Good again.
Yeah.
Alrighty, goodbye.
Bye bye.